Good evening and welcome to the Watchman's Report. I'm Cody Higley, and tonight we've just kind of got a pop-up broadcast here for you. It's not really a formal show, but we're joined by Jason Foreman nonetheless, the man, the legend, Jason Foreman. So Jason, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, kind of tired. We've been doing a lot of work. As you know, you've been directly involved, so it's been busy and crazy. How are you?
I'm tired as well. I'll tell you what, I haven't had access to Facebook or anything like that during the day, and then you get home and you check the
Right.
feed and you're like, good Lord,
Right.
what
And I
happened
mean,
to the world, man? The world.
sometimes,
So,
man, like people don't understand this is 24 hours a day. We're getting information about a variety of subjects. It's just not the financial stuff. So we're just going to kind of touch briefly on what happened today and I guess go from there. And it's very important to note that the entire team, including former Detective Dennis Potts, Cody, Tina, and the rest of the gang. Mr. Landon's been involved in this extensively, of course, and everybody else. It's a mess, and we take no privilege, no pleasure in reporting this. It's just so complicated, but we'll try to break it down. So a while back, we and you've seen the screenshots and stuff. It's on the website too. Everything that we've documented and requested is on the website. So we requested a full forensic audit.
What's that website again, Jason?
MarionWatch.com.
There you go.
And we requested a full forensic IT audit based on the financial mess that we've researched. It goes back, as you know, you're the historian, at least 40 years. Our earliest audit's 83, and we immediately started seeing IT issues all the way up through the 90s, late 90s, into the New World software installation where it just completely exploded. And we have multiple violations of IT global protocol that would be known by, I mean, quite frankly, any freshman level IT professional that's been either in school or in the field for a couple of years. Segregation of duties, physical access violations, just a whole list of craziness. And today we were advised, Tina Caldwell-Fry communicates with Bill. Bill's been very cooperative and open with
That's Mayor Collins.
Yep, Mayor Collins.
Those of you in Rio Linda.
And he basically reached out for guidance in requesting a full forensic IT audit based on all the evidence is pretty extensive, as you know. And like I said, it's all on MarionWatch.com, and we try to post all the articles on the
Where does that evidence come from, Jason? I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are saying that this is all bullshit, and where where is this evidence coming from? What are the sources?
Well, some of it's eyewitness accounts over the years and password sharing and whatnot, but we haven't released the screenshots of the New World. I'd like to give Bill the opportunity to look over those before I release it publicly, of course. But most 99% of it is coming directly from council minutes and official auditor of state audits dating back to 83. So it is official documentation. It is on the record. Really the
And
only thing.
that's not an exaggeration to say 99%, right?
No, it's all there. You just have to put it together. And fortunately for us, we have, people like yourself who are historians and financial people. And I'm in IT, and I have a large network of other IT people that I've worked with over the years, call center people, data center people, people that work in basically trouble ticketing centers, overseas mostly, that we've consulted. And we've been doing this since 2017, maybe early 18. So we've been at this for a long time. And immediately last time we started noticing some serious problems. And I showed that last time we were on the Watchman's Report on the money. And it was bad, but unfortunately I had to step away, like I keep saying, for family health issues that are ongoing, by the way. And my son's mother, my better half, as I call her, she insisted that we start this back up based on not just the financial stuff that we had and been researching since late summer or early fall, but other things in the community that we're privy to information since we've been operating since 2009. And she said, go for it. Don't ever shut it down again, no matter what happens. So I asked her just the other day because she's having health problems really bad. I was like, you want me to pull the plug? And she said, absolutely not. So today, Mayor Collins reached out to them at the state level and requested, basically guidance on how to do this. And it is kind of complicated. The first step is to define the scope of the audit. So they have to define the scope of the audit, which we suggest it be the New World financial software, the auditor's office, any kind of financial dealings dating back to, dating back to the installation of the New World software, or as far back as possible. I mean, the list of breaches is extensive, but like I said, it's on the Marion watch page. Segregation of duties, password breaches, physical access breaches, including recent breaches that were just solved when Mayor Collins came into office, as we understand it, from multiple officials in the Collins administration. The server room was being used as an office. Mayor Collins wasn't aware of a laptop that was issued. Apparently, former administration that had no business at the time having access to the system, we just found out, had access to the system, and we put in a request for some information regarding some other financial craziness I will not speak to because we have not got the receipts yet, but we will be obtaining the receipts. And it just keeps getting worse and worse, and it's so heartbreaking, and we take it's
just it's about broadening the scope of your investigation and having an open mind.
right.
You can look at those primary sources, what we have as far as the record of council. You have contemporary articles that were published in the Marion Star. You have a whole plethora of sources.
Right.
And we know from review of all of those sources, it's very clear. It's not like we're wearing tinfoil hats and saying that some alien, shipped us up to the planet Xenon and told us all this. This is reviewing the record. Come on now, and
Right.
say, look, we know that there were a lot of issues. Also, questions that need to be asked as to why in the midst of the Great Recession, in the midst of one of the most challenging economic atmospheres in the city of Marion's history, when they were talking about budget cuts and layoffs and all this stuff, would you have an incoming group of politicians from one party, pretty much one party control, had a supermajority in council and had every single member of the administration or the executive, you would say the mayor, auditor, treasurer, law director? Why would they be so keen on spending almost $1 million on a new software program, an accounting software program for the city of Marion? That in itself begs a lot of questions. And you could say, oh, well, they were just looking to uh, improve the process, to increase efficiency and speed things up. That's what the excuse was given. Well, you know, that's fair. Maybe that's the case. So you could say, why did they make certain decisions on removing people who were, according to their personnel profiles, competent, had been in those positions for a long period of time, and just inexplicably out of the blue, year after the New World software is installed, this individual's terminated. Then they install a political employee who was a Democrat. The prior one was appointed by Republican Mayor Jack Kellogg. And you say, oh, okay, well, spoils of war, you know? To the victor go the spoils, and elections have consequences, as Barack Obama said. Okay, that happens. That's true. But then you put in somebody who was a bank teller, and then what? A couple years later, she gets charged with theft in office, ends up pleading guilty to stealing $34,000 out of that same department, same position that we had a recurring problems with. So these questions, all this stuff, you have to tie it together, Jason. You
Right.
can't look at something in a vacuum and say, oh, this is one thing, you know? And that's all I think that we are asking is we say, man, I smell smoke and I think I see smoke over there.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Let's just you're crazy. Or you could say, let's go look over there and see if there's a frickin' fire, you know?
right. And the thing is a lot of these problems that we're seeing, they're not new. So as you put together and helped assist with the research, we already knew, but you kind of pulled it together a little bit tighter for us, being a historian. These financial issues with the software have been going on. They're mentioned in official newspaper articles by the former administration, but nothing was ever really done about it. And from what we can tell, and we've been advised by the Collins administration, various members of it, this was known and not shared. It was not shared when Carr left office. And we document that when in the council minutes from, I believe, 2021, I'd have to pull that article up to get the exact date, but they were going on and on about it. And it's on the record that the financial software was flawed from its install. And we have multiple sources in the Collins administration that had advised that basically they have been advised and told by state officials that it's a well-known fact that the former auditor and deputy auditor were the only ones that held the secrets, I guess, in how to do the manipulation of the system to do the, reconciliations or whatnot. But these safety controls and stuff had been off according to the, documentation and the Collins administration, until they were found by Veritas and confirmed in 2024 and not fixed until 2025. That's a serious problem in the IT industry. So in the IT industry, when you see these red flags, this theft, whatever you want to call it with Brenda, not caught for 3 years. So these are all red flags in the IT industry, and I'm sure in the financial industry. I've never been a banker, so you could speak better than I could on that aspect. But in the IT industry, when we start seeing red flags this blatant, we want to know why. So the IT forensic audit would be considered a non-negotiable, maybe not cost preferred, but non-negotiable step. So that's why we proactively addressed it with the auditor of state, and we continue to, publish the evidence, as we call it, and documentation that is quite extensive. And I'm sure you'd agree with that assessment. It's just overwhelming and very, very complicated. But it boils down to a failed system and nobody sharing information. I mean, blatantly. And everything else is just fuzz and noise, as people keep calling us. But the fact of the matter is we have law enforcement on the team, former law enforcement, retired law enforcement. We have college educated people that are in the medical field that, took charge of this when we had to step out of the ring. We have yourself, historian, finance, and legal. We have some pretty qualified people. Myself, I've been doing IT stuff since I was a child. And these breaches are freshman level IT problems. Sharing passwords. Everybody knows that has gone through high school recently that we don't share passwords. Everybody knows that nobody but IT should be delegating these permission things. These people are not IT experts. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's awful ironic. And I know you and I have talked about this, but we submit all these complaints and start submitting evidence to the Collins administration and publishing. And then all of a sudden the permissions are ordered to be adjusted. Last week, was it?
Yeah.
In the New World system. And that's pretty serious. Like people that have override capabilities. What is that? Like, that's another red flag.
Exactly. And again, it's just, you should come to it objectively with an open mind. And it'd be one thing if we looked back in time prior to June of 2020. Let's say we went back to June of 2010, go back 10 years, and we saw nothing. There was nothing in the council minutes about problems with finances or the bookkeeping or the system. We looked at the newspaper articles, we looked at all the other sources, and we said, hey, there ain't shit here. So then if somebody was coming in and saying, oh, well, the only documented problem occurred on June 26, 2020.
Right. I mean, there were financial and IT control problems.
Jason. Like, there was plenty of documentation when we look back to say, wait a minute, what's going on here? And that's all I think that we're asking, is to say, hey, don't ignore this. Take a look at this. Consider this. Now, the counter argument to that is, oh, well, they had audits, they passed their audits and stuff. Okay, let me just think of a analogy or metaphor of that. It's kind of like you have a factory and you have a press. And those in the cartoons, Jason, where you go into a factory and let's say they're making toys, and the dolls will come out on the assembly line, just one after another. Boom, come out of the machine. Okay, so let's say you got somebody there that's operating that machine. And the machine's supposed to create 100 dolls an hour. So let's say that operator manipulated that machine in there. We're actually only producing $50 an hour.
Right.
In walks the auditor. The auditor's going to say, "Oh, how many dolls you got that you made over there this year?" "Oh, we made 100. You know, and he sees the dolls in a basket and says, "Yeah, that looks good." That's pretty much it. The problem happens is when that machine gets clogged up with doll parts and almost explodes. Then people come in and say, "Well, what the hell happened here? Everything was fine before this. Look at this machine," you know?
Right.
And then they start looking in depth.
Right.
When in reality, that operator had messed with the machine before, and it was only producing half of what it was supposed to be producing. So that's the thing. In the state, you know, there's only so many of them. They're not gods. They're
Right.
not all powerful. They're not all knowing. They don't have endless resources. There are 88 counties in the state of Ohio. And I forget how many municipalities there are. I think something like almost 600 or something like that when you're talking
Okay.
about
It's a lot.
villages and cities and stuff like that. They probably got their hands pretty full. So again, just out of practicality, they say, we're going to do a cursory check on this and blah, blah, blah. And as long as everything kind of passes the smell test, then you're good to go. If we see anything that's like out in the open, like in your face, messed up, like we might note it. We might put it on audit finding or something like that. Like it's not as much of a fail safe as these people think that it is.
Right. Right.
And there again, that's what all we're saying is like, well, they might have been that machine might have been trucking along, nothing overly obvious, but in reality, it wasn't working right. Something was in fact wrong with it. It's
Right.
going to explode. So that's it. That's all really I think it comes down to. And I don't know too. My question is, would they be able to go back further in time? I don't even know if New World would have
There's
that.
a variety of methods that could be used. If there's a digital trail that's missing, call logs to the vendor, as we've been made aware of the permission wars that, as far as we're concerned, and I think that most of the, if not all of the Collins administration is in agreement, happened, period. And the screenshots that we obtained definitely make a strong case for that. Now, the financial craziness has gone on for a long time. Whether or not there's any money missing, I'm not an accountant. I have no idea, but I do know that the current administration has said that our research is highly accurate, surprisingly accurate, is what two of them said. And of course, we don't know everything because they're not allowed to tell us everything. There's only certain things that they can share with us currently. So anything above and beyond that, we don't know, period. But these are signs that the research is solid, and we're not playing around. This is not a game. And that's why we are fact-based. These are records on the record, Ohio State audits. The financials been a mess for a long time. All kinds of activity going on, misappropriations, same stuff we're seeing now, just, over a longer period of time. And like you said, the bomb actually exploded, it looks like, when this software came in, and it was almost immediate. So these in IT, I'm speaking strictly in IT, these are red flags. Software is installed. No controls. How do we know there's no controls, or that the controls were probably not functioning properly? It took 3 years to figure out that somebody stole in excess of $30,000.
Right. And that also goes, not only did it take 3 years, but just the mere fact that you had somebody that was supervisor in that position and thought that she could get away with it. So
Right.
what's the connotation with that mindset, Jason? It means she knows that there's some bullshit going on, and she probably said, "Oh, I can get away with this. We're already doing all this other shit, so they're not gonna. I'll just cover my tracks on this 34,000, and they won't be able to find it." That's one theory as far as the motivation and the mindset that it would take. I mean, if you were in an environment, Jason, as an IT guru, and you said, "Boy, howdy, they got this thing on lockdown.
Right.
They know when I frickin' pick my nose. You're not going to mess around." But if you know that the environment is effed, then you might say, "By God, I think I can get away with this to benefit me." They're doing something else to benefit something else. So that all plays into it. It's you have to look at that. We don't know for sure, but when you put all these pieces of the puzzle together, it kind of paints a picture.
It does. It paints a pretty bright picture, very bright picture. I mean, you're a finance guy. What do you think about the crazy that we've
I
uncovered?
mean, again, you don't have to have any type of special degree or credential. It's common sense, which ain't very common nowadays. So all it takes is to look at what we've put together. Go to the web page. Go to the Facebook page. Read these articles. Look at the evidence. Look at the articles from the Marion Star that were contemporary with what was going on. Council minutes, all that stuff. And just say, "Oh, okay. Like, we can go ahead and agree that there were issues." That
Yeah,
the
something's wrong. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all it takes. You don't have to be a CPA, you don't have to be an attorney, you don't have to be this, that, or the other. You
And
just have to have some common sense, and you have to have an open mind and an open heart. That's it.
right. And that's the thing. Like, even if you removed our finance guy and our IT guy, and it was just a couple of the team members, if they really dug into this and did the research that we've done over years, by the way, you could match all this stuff up with global industry standards of IT practices and financial practices, and piece together all the articles and things of that nature. It's all there. You know what I mean? Like, it just
It
takes
it,
a
it is. It's there now. Drawing conclusions. So you have to analyze what evidence you have in front of you. Okay, and you have to be objective with that. Can't be biased with it. Be objective with it. You analyze the evidence, and then you ask appropriate questions, delve into the matter further after you've reviewed the evidence that we can all stipulate on.
right.
Then you draw your conclusions. That's how your analysis should be. So right now we've got all this evidence. We're at the asking questions phase. Next is to draw conclusions. Some of us might have already kind of drawn conclusions on a number of these things because it's pretty damn difficult to ignore everything. So, and it's going to take time. It's going to take time. And I think to really figure out what happened, if it was just some serious flaw with the system that nobody could do anything about, well, if they do a forensic IT audit, accounting audit, whatnot, going back, because any of the stuff that they've been looking at here recently has been focused on 2020 on. And that's the thing. They got to go back if they can. Look back in time, go back to July 2009 when the New World System was installed, and move forward. And like you said, with the IT stuff, do the same thing. And I'm pretty confident that that's going to yield some very good information. And, you know, some people out there saying, well, who cares? You know, it's not about figuring out who's to blame and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's true. You want to, the ultimate goal, the primary goal should be to fix the problem, to get the city in a position where moving forward, everything is buckled down with the IT and with the accounting and the finances. But if we are dealing with criminal activity, and we have a precedent, Brenda Dyer and Wasso was a criminal, pled guilty to theft in office, stole $34,000 while supervisor of the utility billing department. You got to have justice. You can't have, if that's what we're dealing with, if this was like racketeering or conspiracy or fraud or whatever, then the public's trust is going to be greatly impacted in the city of Marion, and there has to be justice for it. So, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, we just need people to put it in the proper context. This didn't just happen 4 years ago. These problems go back to 2009 with the installation of the New World System, incoming class of a dominant political party. Whether or not, again, they're implicated in any shenanigans, we don't know for sure, other than that Brenda Dyer and Wasso. But that's pretty much it. So we're kind of the spearhead on this, and you take a lot of shit for it, Jason. You know that people say, "Oh, you know, conspiracy. You guys are fake news and whatever." No. When you're going through and you are citing the sources, Jason pulled that up, had all the headlines clipped, all those articles from 2008, 2009, 2010, 11. We've got links and everything, direct quotations of the council minutes where these discussions were taking place. That is investigative journalism, Jason. Is it not?
It is definitely. It's hard
Some
work, man.
bozo that is on some podcast, say, "Oh, there's nothing here. There's nothing to see here," and then he might interview somebody from his party or whatever to kind of give him a softball question or to attack us or whatever. I mean, that's a joke. That's a joke. These are the receipts. Now, is there some commentary mixed in? Is there speculation? Is there asking questions? Yeah, there are. But a good investigative journalist and a commentator. I mean, that's what I consider myself. I mean, I do a lot of research and things like that, but I'm a commentator. 100%. A good one should ask questions, should speculate. Because if you don't speculate, then you're not going to know what freaking questions to ask or potentially what conclusions to draw. You're just a mindless drone. And we have too many of those in our society today, a bunch of mindless drones. And that's part of the main reason why we get here. When you look, people's attention spans are that of a fruit fly, their memories and stuff. So even though this shit was out there, it was at a council meeting back in 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever. It was in the newspaper. People don't remember. They don't
Right.
remember what they had for breakfast. You think they're going to go back and remember what happened at a council meeting or was in a newspaper or happened in the auditor's office in 2010? No, they're not. And even if they do remember, are they able to connect the dots? No, they're not. People are not. So that's a bullshit argument too, isn't it, Jason?
Yeah, I think so too, man. Like this stuff is pretty overwhelming. The amount of information that we've gone through, and I know we've taken a lot of crap because we verify our research with our internal and some external AI systems. Whatever, so doesn't 80% of the nation's.
I don't do that, but I'm not criticizing anybody that does. I mean, if you look at what Jason's saying, if you look at a lot, I think it is like 80%, 70%, something like that, of all these top journalists that work for the AP or work for whatever, there's only like, what, 6 corporations that own 90% of all media in this country. They're utilizing artificial intelligence to organize things. And they'll put on their assisted, written by so and so with the assistance of AI. I don't use any of that shit just because I'm not a tech person. If I were a tech person, I probably would if it made my, life easier. Like if I'm transcribing a quote or something and I'm listening, repeat, type. That's how I do it. Jason knows this AI crap really well, so he can just run it through there and it'll transcribe it. So it's just a tool, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, we go over it extensively. It's not like we're just running it through a computer system and then just whoop, there it goes. No.
Yeah. No,
you've seen me agonize over this for days, like weeks.
Right. And it's just more noise. But anyway, I think that this is something that's going to go on. We're going to find out on the 13th, allegedly now. It was the 10th, supposed to be in time for the next regular meeting of council on the 10th. Now, tonight at the committee meetings, they said that it was going to be the 13th. But then I think they're saying that they won't be able to release the corrective action and all that crap until sometime after that. So who really, I don't know when you're going to get the corrective action and the full details of the findings in the audit. 13th, sometime after that. Did you understand what they were talking about as far as the time?
Pretty much what I got too. It's such a mess, Cody. I don't even, it's so
yeah, at some point, Marion, you will get the findings from the audit report and you will get the corrective action that the city has to try to put in place. And we'll go from there, I guess. And they're saying they're going to have what, 2022?
2022, I think so. I'd have to go back through. I was prepping for the cast at the end of the meeting there.
They're still allegedly trying to work through these things. And that's the other thing. Like, if you look back, they're supposed to be done this quick. Supposed to be done. Never gets done. So, I don't know. It's a mess. It's an important mess as far as we froze.
Maybe. No, I don't think we're froze, but you're froze.
Oh, I'm froze.
It's okay. We're going to wrap up anyway, but it is a mess, but we'll get to the bottom of it. We just wanted to kind of come on and let everybody know what's going on.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, yeah.
Okay.
There
and
you
I'll
go.
Yeah. So the 10th, I think, might be an interesting meeting. Not a whole lot happened tonight at committees. There was probably the most interesting part was a long-winded back and forth about fulfilling public records requests and whether or not if Chelsea Troiano, the budget director, if she gets one, does she send it off to Mark Russell, the law director, for guidance or approval? I don't know what the hell is going on there. Doesn't seem like many of them know the correct protocols or procedures for something that should be pretty straightforward. That kind of went on, but anyway, stay tuned for more of this discussion. There's lots and lots to talk about, so we got content for days, folks.
Yeah.
Days.
A long
Months.
time.
Long
tomorrow,
time.
You want to tell them what we're doing tomorrow?
Yes, I do. I'm very excited. You're going to want to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Come right here. When you get home from work, for those of you that work like Jay and I do, like a bunch of dogs, and we have to vote on people who are going to be taxing us, getting our Benjamins, Anyway, you want to come here to the Watchman's Report for our election night coverage. You don't want to go anywhere else because the only other game in town for election night coverage, they're not even going to be able to show you anything. They're not going to have, you don't want to go there. You want to come here. We're going to be able to pull up the results as they're posted. So we'll be checking in with the Marion County Board of Elections regularly. Check out them results on the charter. We've also got at-large city council races. We've got that big race in the 6th Ward between Republican Ron Prater and Democrat Anthony Azaria. And lots more to go over with tomorrow night. And we're going to have a lot of special guests. They're going to be popping in. I'm serious. It's going to be like a clown car,
15 minutes
one
or so.
after another of all these special guests. And
it seems like they really like this fact-based reporting stuff, huh?
Yes, it's great. It's a new dawn, it's a new age, and it's a new life, as the song goes, Jason. So tune in 7 o'clock here on the Watchman's Report. You can find us live on Facebook, or you can watch us on YouTube. However you want to do it, just watch us. We're going to go till at least 9 o'clock. We want to make sure that we get all the results in.
Right.
So
go as late as
that's
possible.
been an issue in the past with the Marion County Board of Elections getting their damn results in at a reasonable hour. I thought all these voting machines were supposed to increase efficiency and turnaround time. It's gotten worse. God, I could count grains of sand quicker than they can count these frickin' ballots on a machine.
I've got a long list of problems with these machines too, but we'll get into that some other time.
Let's do it. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock till at least 9, bunch of guests, results. You don't want to miss it. You want to be here for the election. Nowhere else.
It should be fun.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
So for Jason Foreman, I'm Cody Higley, and this has been a little pop-up of the Watchman's Report. See you all tomorrow.
Have a good night, guys.